Hey, 2022 is of course going to be filled with tons of new first-person games on every platform. Now, we've picked 10 of our most anticipated here, so let's get started off with number 10. Scorn is a game that'll catch your eye like right away. I mean, look at it. It's a first-person horror title that throws players into an H.R. Giger-inspired nightmare world. Everything in this unknown place looks like it's filled with like flesh, bone, and steel. But if you're trying to find out what the actual premise of the game is, there's not a lot of details yet. This game has been in the works for a long time. People have been searching for more. We know that the game is set up in like a non-linear map filled with enemies and puzzles to solve, and players can definitely expect a survival horror element, because the developers have at least said that the game will feature limited inventory with ammo management. So of course that comes stressful decisions in a really spooky world. And you know what? We love spooky games, so we've been looking forward to Scorn for a long time, and we're hoping 2022 is finally the year. Next, over at number 9, we have Warhammer 40K Darktide. Now, this will quickly probably draw people in from Vermintide 2. This is another competitive multiplayer game where players are fighting off a swarm of enemies and creatures, and we've seen a lot of these wave-based type FPS games before, and people seem to just keep digging them and keep taking them. And, you know, if you're a fan of the Warhammer 40K franchise, you'll be happy to know that this is following a squad of Imperial Guardsmen dealing with a chaos infiltration. Now, this was shown off in 2020, and a lot of people have been already praising it, but like so many games within the last 2 years, it has been delayed due to the pandemic, but we're thinking we're definitely going to see Darktide sometime this year. Lately, gamer Warhammer fans have been eating good, and I think that's going to continue. Next, over at number 8, we have Witchfire. Now, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves with this one, but judging from the early reveal last year and some new information trickling out, if you're a fan of like old school first-person shooters, this looks like the modern version, the new FPS that could end all FPSs. I mean, this thing looks insane. Look at it. Not only is the art style really cool, creepy, spooky, and detailed, but the gameplay is fast and frantic and chaotic, and also extremely skill-based and cool and stylish at the same time, in that perfect old school feeling way. You're using cool weapons and pagan magic, and the game is a roguelite. Not only is it a roguelite shooter, but it's also from the creators of Painkiller, Bulletstorm, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, so it kind of makes sense here in terms of Painkiller and Bulletstorm. They clearly know what they're doing in the more old school style shooter department, but in terms of cool style and a little bit of creepiness, the fact that some people of this worked on Vanishing of Ethan Carter, it just really makes sense. At the very least, we know this year it's going to release on PC in early access towards the end of 2022, and we're really looking forward to it. Now, next at number 7, we have Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Now, this was announced last year, and we've talked about it quite a bit on the channel, but essentially what this is a Borderlands spin-off game, kind of taking some of the Tiny Tina DLC concepts and really running with it. You're thrown into a fantasy world with a fantasy-style map that you navigate, and it's a Borderlands game that's kind of lampooning the style of like Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy and stuff. It's just this crazy, chaotic thing, but it's got some things that really make it stand out from a Borderlands game. A lot of that tried and true loot and shoot gameplay is there, but the enemy types and the weapon types are really different, and it seems pretty cool. The humor is definitely going to still be Borderlands, which you're going to either love or hate, but the gameplay looks rock solid. I'm really glad they're making this one. You make your own character, you jump in, it's doing things different. I think Borderlands has needed a refresh after 3, and this might be it. Now, next over at number 6, we have Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. This was a game that the developers tried to get off the ground in the past quite a while ago. While development was going on this title for a period, it eventually ended, but now it's back in development, and there have been some details about what to expect when it actually finally launches. You know that once again, you're going to be a bounty hunter type person, and you're going to head into the zone. It's a heavily radiated area because of the Chernobyl incident, and of course, you're going to come across mutated hostiles and human enemies. This game looks absolutely gorgeous. You could probably see that here. It's, again, a first-person shooter, but it's one where you need to use your mind and some strategy as well. There's a reason why the original games took off on PC. These are PC as hell games that are incredibly unique and challenging and satisfying, and we're happy that we're getting a new one, and it's also coming to PC and Xbox. This one has received quite a bit of delays, but we're gonna see it at the end of this year, hopefully, as long as there's no more delays. Fingers crossed. Now, next over at number 5, we have Shadow Warrior 3. Now, if you've never played a Shadow Warrior game, it's well worth going back and enjoying them. They are crazy, fast-paced, energetic action FPSs. You're gonna once again play as Lo Wang, who is just this crazy shogun who is armed to the teeth with weapons and cool maneuvers. And these games are gory and fast-paced. And this time around, you're fighting a dragon that was unleashed from an eternal prison. As of making this video, we don't have an exact date for it. We do know it's coming. It's just slated for sometime in 2022. But these games seriously don't get enough love. While you wait for Shadow Warrior 3, consider picking up Shadow Warrior 2. It's cheap, it runs great everywhere, it's not super long, but it is incredibly satisfying. If you just like fun factor and craziness, Shadow Warrior is the thing, man, and we really have our fingers crossed that 3 is gonna just up the ante even further. Now, next over at number 4, we have Starfield. This is, of course, the next big game from Bethesda, the people behind Elder Scrolls. This studio has gotten flack in recent years for Fallout 76, but the way we look at it here is that they've, for so long, made games called Elder Scrolls and Fallout. They're finally making something different, and we just can't wait to see what that's like, plain and simple. It's a space exploration game. We still don't know too much about it, considering it is coming out November 2022, but we know it is a narrative-driven RPG in the future where humanity has colonized space and you are a space explorer. Little by little, they have trickled out little details about some of the planets and civilizations, but again, things are still really slight. We're hoping it feels unique. We're hoping it doesn't just feel like another Skyrim, but in space. I have faith, but just by looking at Starfield and everything else honestly coming, the fall holiday season of 2022 is going to be a busy one for gaming. Now, next over at number 3, we have Redfall. This is a new Arcane Studios game designed specifically for Xbox and PC that is going to be an open world cooperative first-person shooter, probably likely with that Arcane spin on things. People seem really, really excited for this one just because of the concept. There's a legion of vampires taking over the town, and players are going to use a series of different characters to fight back against the vampire hordes. And it's going to be a cooperative adventure, so think of something kind of almost like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, but with vampires and with that Arcane first-person gameplay. It's quick, it's snappy, the abilities are cool. If you've played anything like their previous games like Dishonored or Deathloop, you know what to expect here. Seems like a good winning combination because we know at this point Arcane knows what they're doing with first-person shooters. We don't have a date for this yet, but as of right now, it is slated for 2022. Next at number 2, we have Dying Light 2, the follow-up to the original Dying Light, which is a game we absolutely loved here at GameRanks. It was an incredible first-person adventure that made zombie games fun and interesting again, thanks to the open-world exploration, the loot, and the cool parkour, combat, and movement systems. Dying Light 2 goes bigger and badder, centered around kind of like a walled city where the streets are filled with the undead and humanity is shacked up in little encampments on the rooftops, and you come in as a pilgrim, someone who basically wanders the earth doing dangerous deliveries where no one else can out in the wild. And this time around, it seems like there's even more RPG elements with more characters to deal with and decisions to make that'll affect the world around you. Now, a lot of games make that promise, so we're gonna have to wait and see if Dying Light really does it, but otherwise it looks to be a ton of fun. They've improved the parkour and the combat. Everything is said to be smoother and faster and generally more entertaining. And the trailers, the hands-on previews, everything has gotten us really excited. And thankfully, we don't have to wait too much longer because it's releasing February 4th, 2022. Now, down to number 1, let's talk Atomic Heart. This has been on our radar for a while now. It takes place in an alternate reality where the Soviet Union continued to thrive while also making a ton of futuristic technological advancements, and you are a KGB agent, seemingly with the premise of they're struggling with some mental health issues, and you travel to this remote facility that has gone quiet, and you face off against all kinds of things, freaks, robots, in what seems generally to be like a weird sci-fi descent into madness. There's a lot of melee combat with makeshift weapons and seemingly some exploration, and this looks awesome. This is almost like weird sci-fi Soviet Russia KGB Bioshock. If that doesn't sound like a winning combination of words, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Graphically, it looks gorgeous. That's actually honestly how we first noticed it years ago when one of the early trailers released. But we're glad this game is finally getting its time in the sun and seemingly a decent budget. And it seems like 2022 is finally the year this thing is going to release for PC and consoles. Now, those are the 10 new FPS games that we're looking forward to in 2022, but we also got some bonus ones, including Destiny 2, The Witch Queen. Destiny 2's next big content update looks to satisfy a lot of fans. Also, Crossfire X is dropping soon. It's a competitive multiplayer shooter that was big in Asian territories, and now it's finally coming over to the mainstream. And last but not least, Boundary. It's like a sci-fi astronaut game where all the astronauts have guns. That's a winning pitch to me. But hey, those are the games that we're looking forward to. We want to hear what you guys think down in the comments. If there's a game that you just learned about or a game that you're really looking forward to, be sure to drop it and maybe click the like button as well if you had fun. But as always, thank you guys for coming around. Subscribe if you haven't already because we put out videos every single day, and we'll see you next time.